Hey y'all, hey, it's your sugar here. And I mean, we have our good days and not so good days. I'm gonna be 100 with y'all. Um, Sugar ain't feeling too good today, so I'm not sure how long the show will be, but let's have a conversation, okay? I'm Natalie Sugar Brown, woman pugilist, been there, done that, and this is my platform here, the Natalie Sugar Brown Show every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I think Eastern Time, um, where we sit here and we talk about the women's boxing. Okay, this is that platform where we're not talking about, oh, you don't have to be right in CompuBox and all of this stuff. We're really having conversation. So ask the questions that you want to ask. Say what you want to say, right? But I mean, it is what it is on the sugar platform, right? So if you get clapped or you get clapped back, of course, it'll be respectfully, but you might get clapped. That's all I got to say. Oh, okay. So we already got somebody chiming in. R Scarf One. Okay. Hi. Did you see my article on WBAN? I mentioned your show. Ooh, thank you, R Scarf One. I have not. Um, I have not, to be honest, been out here in the cyberverse. Um, but I have been meaning to check up on WBAN and see that article that you were talking about because you did mention it. So I'm glad that you made good on your promise to me. That you put that article, that you put Suge's platform in that wonderful article you wrote. Now, I was just about to ask. My host said, feel free to post a link to your article. And we keep it real on here. I want the people that look at the Sugar Show to be able to click a link, right? And find what you did and what you said. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be able to give back to you in that way, share your goodness with those who are tuning in on the Sugar platform. So please, R Scarf One, post that link. As a matter of fact, I'll read that article right here on the show, right? It's information and it's good stuff. It's women's boxing, which is what we're here talking about. And the thing about R Scarf One, you guys, I love journalists like this. R Scarf One, you know, it's taken us some time to know each other, and I like R Scarf One. Came on here, kept it real, and R Scarf One, it don't sugarcoat it, just like Sugar don't sugarcoat it, right? So I'm looking forward to seeing how R Scarf One put together this article that they wrote. Ron, can I use your government name on the platform? Ron, right? Um, see what and put the at least put the title. You guys check out WBAN. Uh, I think WBAN.com and look for uh Ron's article on the Women's International Boxing Hall of Fame that happened this past couple weekends ago. Um, awesome event. Love that he went out and supported women's boxing, women who have behaved badly throughout the years, and now is putting some ink to paper, making it real, making the stories real out here, and writing about it, right? Because at the end of it all, you know, it's whoever tells your story the best. And that's the life of a fighter for real. At the end of the day, it's whoever told your story the best. Um, so the article, the title of our Scarf and Ron's article is Belted. The first WIBF world champion reunites with the sacred Sacred strap. Ooh, that sounds good. Um, my host says I'm looking forward to the read, R Scarf One. And I'm looking forward to the read too. Um, you already started off. It sounds good. First WIBF World Champion reunites with the sacred scrap. So our Scarf One is already paying homage to those who laid the foundation or laid the ground for what you see now in women's boxing. So it's, that's when once you show that kind of depth, you know there's longevity there, there's what you call it, there's authenticity there, right? Because now he's not fanboying or fangirling, right? He's telling it what it is, what had happened, and educating you on this wonderful world of women behaving badly. Um, our Scarf One says it's not the usual article on WBAN. All right, it's not the usual article. Well, tell me how so, our Scarf One. Is it? Are you saying that because you wouldn't be able to put the link on in the chat thread? Let us know, because we want to be able to get to you and get to your info. It's long. Okay, it's a long article. All right, so this is what I'm gonna do. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go in and read that. I'm gonna come back and talk about it, R Scarf. When uh, let's make a date. Let's make a date. So how about next Wednesday? We make a date for talking about that. We want to review your article on the Sugar Show. I'm gonna tell you how I feel about it. Okay? You tell me what you was feeling while you wrote it. Okay? Is that a date? Our Scarfmore says, okay, yes. I don't usually ask the men out. They ask me out. But as you can see, Sugar, anything, anything for a good time. And I know we're going to have a good time talking about what you did. Anyway, you guys, yeah, you could see it in Sugar eyes, you know what I'm saying? The weather coming in over here and stuff, so I'm telling you, I'm all bundled up and whatnot. Whew, you know what I'm saying? Send some of those chicken noodle soups and all of that stuff, all of those good hot cocos and teas and all of those things that y'all use to make yourselves feel good when you having one of them, you know, uh, sick days. So tonight's episode is called "Where Is She Now?" And ain't picking on nobody. I'm not picking on nobody because I'm going to be randomly doing my "Where Is She Nows." Okay, I am. Why? Because in women's boxing, it's very easy to slide off the map. Very easy. If you don't have, I mean, it's hard to be having stuff going on all the time. We don't get to fight all the time and very often, unless we got the bread behind us. And right now, these ones that have the bread, they're taking advantage of the fact that you know uh those who don't have the bread, we don't get to fight all the time, so they shouldn't have to fight all the time, right? That's just how it is. I guess you play both ends of the spectrum. Anyway, lovely assistant, what we got? Okay, now um so is "Where Is She Now?" So we got one, two, three, four. We got four fighters in this picture here. To my left, it's always to the left, to the left. um, and it seems, I believe, I mean, it was a, it's been a year, right? It's been a year. This was a mega fight. This was women's boxing history. How many of y'all talked about this fight since it happened last year? You know what I'm saying? How many people um have, what part of women's history has this, you know, substantially made a difference for everyone, you know, all women's boxers? Because it was a mega match and it was supposed to be all, you know, this high grossing and the first and all of this. Well, what what has it done for women's boxing besides, you know, it happened, right? Mega stuff. Mega stuff keeps going. Mega stuff keeps being mega, right? So, do y'all recognize the broads in this picture here? I see Michaela Meyer in red shirt to the far left. We got with the blue hair representing the struggle, the water struggle in Detroit, in Flint, Clarissa Shields. We got standing tall in the all black, Savannah Marshall. And then we have to my immediate left here, Alicia Baumgardner. So it's been like the we're talking about, you know, how fragile a career, things can affect a career, a woman pugilist career. Like, like something can happen to you and your career is over in a blink. Um, which is, you know, not the same, or which would be kind of contrary in men's boxing, right? A lot of these guys, they get locked up, they get arrested, you know, they domestic violence, they get caught with the peds, you know, they do all of this shit and they're able to bounce back from it, right? But especially this one to my immediate left here, you know, she did something. She was on a great climb since this event, since this mega women's match, Alicia Baumgartner, and look at where she is now. Like, I mean, from what I heard, you know, she's still tweeting, but her career, how's she gonna come back from it? We arguably say, I mean, we say in the women's boxing community, like when we talk, like career is basically over. You know, how's she gonna bounce back from this? Who's gonna fight her? How's she gonna justify any of her fights moving forward? It's different for the women, right? Savannah Marshall only had one belt at that time. Now she has them all at super middleweight. Can you imagine? Right? So the tides turned in her favor in the past year. And she did well in acquiring the undisputed titles, the undisputed titleship that she has now. So, um, see how fragile thing, you know, how fragile it is, which, you know, the this week or this weekend, she, you know, that it was probably one of the worst weekends or worst fights of her life, right? Lost in her home country in front of everybody to Clarissa Shields, and now she's an undisputed world champion the very same way. Then you got Clarissa Shields, pretty consistent, you know. Clarissa Shields has been on a high for a while. Um, Proving, you know, nothing has changed. Just been very consistent, right? And she's showing also in the industry of women's boxing the fact that she's authentically producing, right? She hasn't cherry picked so far. She's given everybody an opportunity to get them damn hands, to get warmed up, right? And she's in her being consistent, in her having the right people behind her, the way uh, goodness, who is her promoter? Salida promotes her. She's she's cruising. She will be a legend in women's boxing. Yes, I'm saying it. So far, so good. After having such a I would say a rocky start, because I'm not gonna lie. Like, I saw on the very same platform, WBAN, where there was so much hate for this young lady. Like, hate. Not, oh, I don't like her, but people saying hateful things about this young girl. And all she was doing was trying to be a fighter, just like everyone else behaving badly. Right? So she's been consistent, and she's been showing that energy even through that kind of adversity, even through, growing up and realizing that, everyone's not going to like me. I've got to find who I am, and I've got to be me. And Clarissa Shields, she's still her. She's still the Clarissa Shields to me that you see in this picture, right? She gonna talk her shit, and she gonna put her hands behind what she says. Um, and so on the far left, you have Michaela Meyer in the red shirt. Now, Michaela Meyer this weekend was horrible for her because she lost all her belts. Right? She was skating along, and she was the Disney princess who um can box, and very protected and padded. And on this night, the one little broad who she thought couldn't touch her, that she could avoid and ignore out of existence, took all her candy. Right? So, I mean, Michaela Meyer was reeling for a good minute, right? Begging for that rematch, advocating for the rematch. So I can't imagine how she felt when she heard about that dirty pee from Alicia Baumgardner, right? Am I right? Or am I right? Right? It's like, yeah, yeah, you know, that was her little, um, I guess, karma kickback. But Michaela Meyer has since left this weight class and moved up, and now she's talking about she's challenging welterweights and middleweights. So, I mean, the fragility, right, of what can happen in a year, right? You can have it all, and you can lose it all in women's boxing. And I mean, I'm talking about when it's gone, it's gone. You know what I'm saying? There's no straggling, or that I just need to wait till things cool down. No, it's gone. Right? So, it's I brought it up, the where is she now, because it was something mega. And in that meganess, a year after the mega match, so many things have changed. You know, uh, someone who, Alicia Baumgartner gained it all, and now she's pretty much lost it all. Um, uh, Savannah Marshall lost what the one thing she thought she had, her one belt, and now she has it all. She has all of them, right? Clarissa Shields, if anything, you know, in her personal life, she lost some things, but now she's working on gaining them back, or gaining it back, seems like. So, and Michaela Meyer had to reinvent herself. Like, she had to find herself in another weight class, right? So, I mean, in one year, this is what happens. Lovely assistant. Is there let's get to the other image. Okay, now, Also, where is she now? So we're looking at I really hate that. I'm not advertising Sky Sports. I'm not, because they ain't advertising sugar. But I just thought that this cheesy ass picture was just a great picture, because now Natasha Jonas is the first black female boxing manager in the UK. Can you imagine? The first black female boxing manager in the UK. That's where she is now. Now, my whole thing about that is, okay, so you tell it's not enough that you're having a good run. Now you got to go and get real cheesy and corny on us, right? Because that's some real corny shit right there, right? Congratulations. Yes, you're the first. You're a woman of color who has decided to embark on managing boxing management. The thing about this is, when you use the black card, yeah, I'm going to go there. I'm going to get real controversial. Okay. When you use the black card, let it be for some shit that is relevant, is real. It's something that, oh, she's going to do. We do this, right? Okay. The pop, right? Now, if you want to use the black card, the first black the first black female boxing manager in um the UK. Okay, so what are you going to do for the you're black and you're using the black card, and I guess you've made history. Now what are you going to do for the blacks? Right? Because they seem to think it's so important that they mention that she's a black um boxing manager, woman black boxing manager. Like, she hadn't even done anything in management, in managing fighters. What are the disparities of black fighters in the UK? Right? Are you doing this for a struggle, or are you doing this for attention now? Talking about, this black card that they played, to me, was just corny about it. If Natasha Jonas decides to now be a boxing manager, that's fantastic, right? We need women to represent the business aspect of boxing and managing fighters. But now, when you play the card, now you pull in the card, right? This this first black, right? Natasha Jonas, congratulations on being a boxing manager. Okay. But I don't like this black card, the blackness, right? This is the first time I ever heard you pumping yourself up with the blackness, or about the blackness, right? So if you ain't coming through the door with the card, don't pull that shit out your ass and try to play it, right? For brownie points and for kudos, right? There's history being made, right? And that's the thing about women boxers, that a lot of women boxers that it's we gotta slow down, right? Great. There's so much history that can be made in our industry and with what we do, right? But the real history is, how are you how is what you've done, or how and how you're adding to history, how is it going to affect the lives of those who come after you, right? You've now cemented the path, right? So she's talking about first black women's boxing manager in the UK. Okay. Historically now, is it that we need more black women managers in boxing, like, or historically now, you know, Natasha Jonas, girl, get you a stable of fighters, see how it go. You know what I'm saying? Before you come with the damn card through the window, because this shit might not even work out for you. You might not even like managing fighters, because managing fighters ain't what it's cracked up to be. It's not easy, it's not nice, right? And it's not smooth. You may lose your investment of a couple of these mother suckers that come, that's coming out here on that on this business tip. Excuse me, y'all. Let me, goodness, my battery's getting low. Let me, just give me a second. Hold on. All right, that'll work. Excuse me, excuse. Oh my gosh, I didn't do anything. Okay, hold on, you guys. I gotta get this power. I gotta get my power to work. Oh my gosh, sorry, you guys. It's always something with sugar, huh? Um, bear with me. That's all I ask. Show me how much you love me. Bear with you. All right, y'all, I'm back. Look at us, look at us getting all sedity and whatnot and shit. Right? I got commercial break, like you can't tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing about my guys here on Talking Fight. Like this real for real. I got commercial breaks and whatnot. Okay. So, oh, look who chimed in. Women's Boxing Channel says, well, damn, said. Been saying it all week. All this virtue signaling Boxer and Sky and BBC are doing is attracting attention to color being targeted. It stinks. Women's Boxing Channel also says no such thing these days as first black. Am I, parentheses, the first white to say this? Well, let me tell you something, baby. Um, as someone who has been through, racial adversity, you know, um, I know, I know about the card, and I know when playing the card is real, and I know when playing the card is like, you know, you abusing the card, right? That card, that black card is something serious, okay? Just like a lot of other cards, right? If I played the black card, I know I'm gonna have to play that card for real, right? I'm not gonna come out talking about first black, right? I could have came out and said, "Oh, I'm the first black to do this. I've been the first. I was the first to do a lot of things, and I'm black. I identify as black, right? But I mean, this cheesy shit now. That's all I'm saying. Um, Natasha Jones. I never heard of her talking about the blackness, right? So bitch, keep it to yourself. If you're gonna do something, it ain't cause you black, right? It's doing it because, and I hope she didn't make Sky, well, let Sky Sports turn her into a damn, uh, what they call it, what they call it, space monkey. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, meaning that they didn't, from what we all know, they used to put um they used to put monkeys, chimpanzees into the rocket ships and launch them into outer space and see how the hell the shit go. Like, if how the monkey gonna survive? You know what I'm saying? Like, can teach the monkey how to work the controls and do the shit, right? Instead of sending somebody real up there and seeing or to outer space and seeing how it goes. Well, Sky Sports now wants to see, oh, okay, well, you ain't making no money. It's not anything really going on with you, Natasha. So you want to be the first black broad to do some shit? I hope she didn't say, okay, and jumped on the bandwagon with this corny shit right here, because it's really corny, right? Boxing managers are a dime a dozen right now. Okay, it ain't like back when it was a deadlocked lock industry. We have a lot of minority women in the management. They're in Africa. They're in the U.S. They are in parts of Europe. I mean, don't don't do no shit like that. That's all I'm saying. And look at her. That's why this picture is suiting, because and the shit's just as corny as how this picture looks, right? And I've seen her do so much better. Um, but we're gonna call a thing, right? So if you out here jiving, and you out here, you let them put they hand up your ass, and now you on here looking like this, then girl, take a break, have a seat, right? This is not necessary. Do your thing, be great in your management, um, boxing management um, endeavors, right? But until you do some real shit, right? Like promote another woman, uh, promote the first woman heavyweight champion or some shit like that, sit your ass down. We don't need it. We don't need to hear it. Um, my host says we are professionals. I know y'all are professional. I'm just saying, I'm doting on my guys, my host. Women's Boxing Channel says, black not blacking. LOL. Okay, well, let me say this, right? Um, I'm just saying this. Black not blacking. I've grown up like I've been told, oh, you're not black enough, and having my card questioned. My black, you know what I'm saying? We're not going to go into that, right? It is, I'm not going to lie though. It's tough being a minority in women's boxing. I was told to my face one time, you don't, you're you're not going to get very far. You don't fit the schematic that sells. No one wants to see you. They want to see that blonde hair girl next door. You're not marketable. And which brings me back to how Clarissa Shields started off, right? Because it was, Clarissa Shields versus Katie Taylor. Clarissa Shields, 2 gold medals. Katie Taylor, 1 gold medal. They turned pro around the same time. A lot of people were saying, oh, but Katie Taylor's more marketable than Clarissa Shields, not realizing how racist they were showing themselves to be, right? Because why? And it just tickled me because it was something that was said to me over and over and over with confidence, right? A lot of people would say that to me, and in a sense to say, this racism is this is it, right? You got to deal with it. We don't want to see you. They don't want to see you. And so we're not going to put you there just because. Meaning that if I wasn't a minority, and if I was as marketable, if I was that marketable um, class or race, I would have had it all. But because I'm tainted with what you see in front of you, I'm not marketable. I'm not a product that they think would sell. You understand? I mean, very hurtful, right? You work hard all your life. You think that people are going to see you for what you are, which is a good fighter, a great fighter. And at the end of the day, they tell you you're not marketable because the color of your skin, right? So that was a big deal um, when years ago when Clarissa Shields started. And I suppose it's probably a big deal now. But it's something that before that was even a topic that people cared to discuss. It was something that a lot of us minority um, female fighters, female boxers had to deal with, right? Um, not being paid as much, not having the opportunities that the others may, our other, our peers, women who are our peers but are not the minority race would have, things like that. We had to deal with it, and it was an ugly topic that a lot of us ignored because we didn't, not only did we want to not play the black card, but we did not want that black ball. You know what I'm saying? Because you could easily get blackballed. That's how fragile it is in women's boxing, right? The word can get out on you and you don't get no work, no opportunities from nobody. And you're sitting there until you disappear. Okay. Um, Women's Boxing Channel comes and says, because if she the first black, this and that, then she also first black woman to prevent a 154 undisputed and a 147 undisputed. Can't have it both ways. See my point? It creates shit. That wasn't Women's Boxing Channel. That wasn't very clear to me. I'm gonna try to read it again to see what you mean, because if she's the first black, this and that, then she's also first black woman to prevent. Is it prevent or um, she's the first black woman to um, attain a 154 and a 147 undisputed title? Can't have it both ways. See my point? So are you saying that she didn't celebrate being the first black to be an undisputed champion? So this first black stuff that her and Sky Sports are coming out with now is like real lame, right? That's what I mean. I never heard her representing, that no blackness. I'm black, blackity black, black, right? So shut your ass now, because this is not the time. We don't need it. We don't need it. Now, if you come out talking about some real issues that, you know, minority women, female fighters face, and you want to be a advocate for us, who have faced it, then yes. But your punk ass ain't trying to touch that. You ain't trying to dip your toe in that end of the pool. It's too deep for you. So, Natasha Jonas, kindly find your ass a seat and sit there. Um, Women's Boxing Channel says, agree totally with what you said so far. What? What? Am I hallucinating from my fever? Women's Boxing Channel and I are in agreement? It actually makes me feel a little bit better. Thank you. Yeah, so if we both agree on that, then, good. Because I thought, to be honest, I thought somebody was going, well, somebody may come in. Y'all know they love to put it in my mailbox. They love putting it in my comment section. And I love that too. I'm fine with it. Ain't nobody scared. I'm fine. My host said the stars are aligned tonight. Hey, that's one thing about my guys. They do not miss out on a chance to poke the damn bear. Talking about the stars are aligned tonight. Um, Women's Boxing Channel says nobody in UK is discriminated against as a fighter due to genetics. All women, men, and women fighters are treated equally regardless of origin. Well, I'm glad I'm glad to hear that from you, Women Boxing Channel. I'm glad that you feel that way. Um, like I said, this is a topic that not a lot of fighters, male or female, black, white, Asian, South Asian, the whole spectrum, not many would want to address because you can easily get blackballed by you know, getting political, by talking about uh, the the antisocial aspect of the business of the industry of boxing. Okay, so and antisocial meaning these type of behaviors where there's racism, there's prejudice, there's sexism, all of these things, even religion. You know what I'm saying? Uh, these things. Um, Women's Boxing Channel also says prevent because she stopped Terry Harper fighting her for 154 undisputed and refuses to fight Sandy Ryan if she gets all other belts. Women Boxing Channel, but what? Where is she now? Tell me what's up with your girl Sandy, though. You weren't in on the show, right? And tell me how you felt about what Sandy did uh, when she had the opportunity to fight McCaskill. Tell me what you think about that. Um, Women's Boxing Channel comes in and says, but it's okay because if Jonah refuses carries on hostage in unification, she'll be stripped. Well, Women's Boxing Channel, as long as the fighter has the money to pay the bill, they're not going to be stripped. They're trying not to strip Alicia. Alicia still technically has her belts. You know what I'm saying? It's this Baumgartner, right? It's the same thing with McCaskill. McCaskill's technically supposed to not have those belts because she relinquished them to move down in weight to fight for the same belts in another weight class. You cannot do that and still go back to your weight division and and have your belts. It doesn't work like that. But yet and still, here we are. So my thing about that is, uh, I know I know if it's all fair, if life was fair, Sandy would get her fight with Natasha and Terry Harper would too. But I don't see if Natasha's still paying that bill, I don't see where they're going to have that opportunity. Especially, did you see how your girl Terry Harper shit up the bed versus Cecilia Breakers? Did you see that? Did you see that fight? Don't nobody want to see her fight nobody. You know, I mean, to be this is where me and you going. This is where me and you might, clash heads. Women's boxing channel. She stunk up the place. Them two, Breakers and put the picture back. Put the picture of Cheesehead back. I'm sorry. That's my girl. Okay, I like Natasha Jonas. I like her. Right, but this shit right here, I'm gonna put my foot on your damn neck. When you bullshitting out here, I can't. I'm not. I, y'all see this? First black. Come on now. We're not doing that. I'm the first black. I should have showed some. Well, why your ass didn't show up at the women's boxing the women international Hall of Fame with that shit? Why didn't you show up there? Trying to make history outside of. Give me. My host said that's a very fake looking smile. You see how she holding the mic too? Girl, you better off, girl. I would have, girl. You should have came out. You should have did like Fran Sean and say, you know what? Check one, check two. I'm coming out with an album. I'm finna rap. I'm gonna start rapping, y'all. She should have did some shit like that. This shit right here. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. It's it's just not giving champion vibes, right? Because champions don't do shit like that, right? If you're going to be a champion and champion the boxing industry, then you know, carry yourself as such. You don't be a puppet, and don't play such a sensitive card just to get attention. Women's Boxing Channel says Baumgardner, Ped Bum, Jonas Unification hostage taker. Well, there's a lot. They ain't the only ones, right? They're not the only ones. They haven't been the only ones, right? It's real bad because when they're doing it, right? But they haven't been the only ones. It was cute when some of these other hostage holders was doing it, right? When Cecilia Ass was out here doing it, right? Holly Holm was doing it, right? It was cute when they ass was doing it, right? Hmm? Not fighting people. Who else? Who else never used to fight anybody and kept the belts as hostage? There was a lot of them, and the shit was cute, right? So um I'm not gonna drag Natasha Jonas for that because she's only doing like she's playing like how everyone else is doing. Uh Women's Boston Channel came out and said Choi done it all her career. That's right, I'm saying. Right? So, they're doing it. I'm not going to drag her for that when, there's been some real disgusting broads in the history that have done it. No, I'm just saying um I haven't seen the black card played like this, and it bothers me. I think it's an insult. I felt insulted, right? So I wanted to get the record straight on that. Um, Women's Boxing Channel comes in and says Breckus and Harper were well below world elite standards that night. It gave women's boxing a bad look. IMO. What's IMO? I'm kind of I'm Ruby's granddaughter, right? So I don't really do I'm kind of old school with these acronyms. You want to break it down. But and that was a world title match that looked like it didn't even look like something. It didn't even look like an interesting amateur-ish match. I know. Check it out. Check these ladies out. There's a tournament out here that Blanca does. I forgot. I can't. I don't even want to. You know, mess up her last name, but Blanca. We were together. We came up in the same generation as amateurs. She was a good fighter in the amateurs. But she didn't I don't think she took it to pro, but she's now in charge of this wonderful amateur promotion called Beautiful Brawlers. You guys check it out, right? She's making a platform. She's made old school too, like the old school, like what we went through. This is what I'm saying. This is because she's seasoned in it. She came up through the filter, like us, the rest of us, like Suge and you know those in that generation. Her platform is that same way. So she has a all women's amateur boxing tournament called Beautiful Brawlers, where all the young baddies, all the wet nose baddies, all the green baddies can get together and see um, who the baddest one of all is, right? And I love her for that, right? And these are the things that the card, that she playing her card strong as shit, right? But nobody's saying anything, right? Ain't nobody talking. Go on these other platforms, right. They talking about these other ones. It's not about, um now I got t-shirts made and girls are boxing. No, like Blanca has been through the filter. She knows what the industry needs. What she's doing is playing a huge role in the future of women's boxing, because she's making a garden. The soil is fertile. She's making a place where if you think you bad, you want to be a baddie, you're going to go there and you're going to prove yourself. You want to make a name for yourself there. That's what it's all about, right? This right here, it's not, right? But this right here, meaning, with the mic, look important, look official. No, what Blanca is doing, Beautiful Brawlers. You know what I'm saying? There's been several upstarts that are coming just off of that branch of the tree. Let's talk about that, right? Let's talk about how strong she's playing her card as being a minority in the industry of boxing. And then on top of that, making a strong foundation for women boxers in women's boxing, right? Um, Women's boxing said, and this was like before, a rematch between them, Cecilia and Brackus and Harper, is a joke. A joke? Listen, it should be against the law to waste somebody's damn time like that. Should be against the law, right? You don't play with adults like that. I don't even think their parents, their family would come back and watch that shit. They'd be like, "All right, baby, tell me how it went." I I'll be there. But if I miss it, tell me how it went. Did do good? Nobody gonna show up for that and watch that again. Gosh, I'm looking puffy and whatnot. Um, sorry, y'all. Sugar need like some warmth and coziness. Just I'm not feeling good today. Like my son would say, I'm not feeling good today, mama. Um, Women's Boxing Channel says, no, I do single Jonas. No, I do single Jonas out. She's using her beef with Eddie Hearn to destroy our fighters' chances of getting their undisputed dream. Man, let me tell you something about these damn dreams. Bitch, get in line. Do you know how many dreams have been broken off less because she won't fight Sandy Ryan, or because she won't fight who else? Terry Harper? I'm sorry. Um, sorry. I'm sorry. Like, people who deserve, who people in women's boxing history who deserved chances and never got it. You know what I'm saying? It happened. So guess what? If it happens to Sandy Ryan or Terry Harper, there's a space in a long line for them too, right? This is just the breaks of it. This is how it happens, right? So Terry Harper had her, I mean, yeah, both Terry Harper and Sandy Ryan had their opportunity to uh, get get what they was trying to get, right? Terry Harper had 10 damn rounds to give Cecilia Brækhus the business, right? To put herself in a position where people would say, shit, you know what? Give her that chance. You know what? Here, I'll pay the money to watch that. And what happened? Same thing with Sandy Ryan. Sandy Ryan had the opportunity to really dispatch McCaskill. McCaskill didn't even respect the girl enough to show up on fight night in shape, right? She there tickling her rib. Break the bitch, fold her in half, and take your belts, right? That was your chance. The hell you waiting on Natasha Jonas for? She ain't got to give y'all shit, right? You see she managing now. Wait, right? It's not like that. And I think that's the misconception that the y'all UK fighters have coming in. I think y'all need to have a meet and greet with Jane Couch. Y'all need to talk to that fighter. I mean, she could tell you a lot more, right? She could school y'all, because there's no, for some reason, UK fighters, female fighters, seem to think that it's something where they can, um, I guess put in papers, or I'm here in line, so I'm at this place in line, so I'm next. It doesn't work like that. It never did. Never. Right? So y'all don't come around here, don't come in here thinking that that's the way it's going to work for y'all, because it's not. It's not. And the thing about it is, the bitch about it is, they had the opportunities, and they they're shitting it up. Right? You got a fully beautiful spread bed, and you go and you shit in the bed. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, that's your one shot. What Alicia Baumgartner did to Terry Harper is that's what. And the thing about it is, with Terry Harper, is it was done to her. So I would have been on some revenge type stuff, right? I would have been on some revenge. I would have been on, guess what? I'm going to have to do that to some. I'm going to have to run that back on somebody. Cecilia, is it you? You're gonna catch one of these hands, and I'm gonna try my damnedest to make sure you kiss that mat, because I did it, right? And that's what happened to this one over here, Natasha Jonas. Remember, right? What's her name? Obanoff made her ass recalculate. Because she was one of those too. She was one of the UK fighters. Oh, it's my place in line. And, right? She still talks about how bad when Terry was up and she was down, how Terry and them treated her. So now she's in a position to make Terry to make Terry wait for something that she ain't going to get, well, she going to do it. This is women. This is women's boxing, right? It's not in men's boxing. Oh, the promoters are the ones who, will drag a fight out or drag negotiations out. No, in women's boxing, we can simply be a bitch and say, no, no, I'm not fighting her. No, ain't gonna happen. No chance. Next. And that's it. That's how fragile uh, your career is in women's boxing. Um, let's see. Oh, okay. Our Scarf One comes in. IMO is in my opinion. Thank you, our Scarf One. And Women's Boxing Channel says that International Women's Hall of Fame didn't even invite Jane Couch to the next ceremony after COVID. She got sent it through the post and never heard from them again. I'm sorry. And Women's Boxing Channel, I know you're sensitive, but listen, this is what I'm saying. Women's boxing, it. I'm not saying that. Listen, you kind of have to. It's a dysfunctional relationship. We all have a dysfunctional relationship with each other and women and this industry. Okay. I do agree with you. I do agree. They should be inviting. Jane Couch should be a representative of WBAN over there in UK, right? Like I would definitely bring her in. Now I don't know what the politics. I don't know what all of that. Why it didn't happen. I would have thought of it, right? But I don't know what Sue and them was thinking, right? Melissa Del Val, who was an extraordinary fighter in women's boxing history, great fighter. Okay, you talking about Amanda Serrano talking about I'm the first and then I'm this and I'm gonna do this for women's boxing. Girl, girl, because who we know is Melissa Salomon, Melissa Del Val. Okay, now out of Puerto Rico. Okay, so you got Amanda Serrano talking like she the first Puerto Rican broad to do a lot of shit. Where you had, like I said, Melissa Del Val, Melissa Salomon, who did a lot of shit as a first. Bonnie Canino, first Puerto Rican. You know what I'm saying? Female fighter. Belinda LaCrente, but all of a sudden now, history and Amanda Serrano. You see what I'm saying? So it's a dysfunctional relationship. Amanda Serrano has never bigged up none of her big sisters, none of her aunties from Puerto Rico who put their foot in the damn game, right? Made the pot funky, put their foot in the pot. You know what I'm saying? It's me, history. I'm doing this now. Now, this, I'm me. And that's what it is in women's boxing. That's why she's still sitting here with that damn cheesy, corny ass look on her face. Because this is what she's trying to do over there in the UK, right? Instead of doing something substantial and cultivating a relationship with someone and those who have done it in the past and do it and really make something. Now you want to sit there with the you know what I'm saying, with the mic in your, you know and I'm black while I'm doing it. I'm black. Girl, if you don't girl if you don't get out of owl face with that. um so yeah, I'm not saying that the International Boxing Hall of Fame, they have their They have their own stuff that they're working on. Melissa Del Val, she was nominated and she came on, she came out saying, y'all motherfuckers, y'all never said anything about me. Y'all didn't boost me up when I was doing my shit, when I was doing my thing, right? You had your favorites. And now you want to give me an award because it makes you look good? You know what I'm saying? That's how she felt about it. And yeah, yeah, I agree with how she feels. But I also am grateful that the International Women's Boxing Hall of Fame um, has established a platform that they are, they are, um, how can I put this? They are making a formal acknowledgement of a lot of us and what we are doing and what we've done, right? Now, if you got a brown nose to get in or to get one of them awards or whatever, I guess that's on you. But before we had that, we had nothing, you know? And that's where, that's where I see it. That's the truth. And Sugar is loyal only to the truth. Um Women's Boxing Channel also says also the International Hall of Fame hasn't even recognized Couch in any, I would think you say, category. Oh, they both favor Americans. Yeah. It would be good if this one right here actually looked into that and did something about it, right? If she wants to use her clout, right? It would be good if Jane Couch established something like what Sue and them are doing over there in the UK. It would be good if you did that, Women's Boxing Channel, right? Establish a platform where the UK baddies that contributed to our historical identity are acknowledged. You know, you can't talk about somebody point finger and you didn't do it. Well, if they not doing it, then your ass need to do it. If it's important, right? That's all I'm saying. Women's Boxing Channel says Ryan was robbed badly by corrupt judges from bent ass Florida State Commission. Now everybody know Florida. Yeah, that's why it happened in Florida. To be honest, okay, um, because you ain't gonna go to Florida and come from out of town and beat nobody from here. You know what I'm saying? That's why. That's number one. Number two, at the same time, Women's Boxing Channel, Sandy Ryan was robbed, but she wasn't robbed badly. Okay? She was robbed just like how any other fighter, every other female fighter who worked hard and did what the hell they needed to do got robbed. Right? She's a couple fights away from being a journeywoman, right? Meaning that it's not that she's a loser. It's just that you see what they're trying to turn her into, right? She's a good fighter, but she hasn't been put in the positions where she can absolutely shine, and she hasn't performed in the capacity where she is absolutely dominant and shining. So they're taking advantage of it. That's what's happening. So that's a part of the seasoning that I keep saying, Sandy Ryan needs seasoning. I'm not taking away, she's a talented fighter, but she needs seasoning. My host says she should be managing her own career before jumping in the management pool. Oh, what you talking about, Natasha Jonas? Well, Let me tell you something, host, it's tough to be to self manage and train and get your endorsement and do all of that. It's tough. It takes a toll on this, right? Because you can't manage yourself and go through the negotiations where they're basically telling you you're not worth shit. Because that's what right, your manager is the one who goes in there guns a blazing. No, 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 uh you won't pay us this because we're worth it. Our value is this is what's going to happen, blah 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 blah, right? It's hard for you to do that when you have people coming in, well, you're not really worth that, or you really not selling, or you can't sell this or whatever. And then you take that back in your mind to training and trying to be ready for for who's coming after your head, right? It's hard because it's still a voice in the back of your mind. Oh my gosh, this was out here in the streets about me, and it does bring you down. um so yeah, what her ass need to do is just she needs to, Natasha Jonas needs to at this point get a fucking life. She really does need to get a life. Like, what is she doing? What is she doing? You know what I'm saying? What is she doing? What is she doing? This? Managing boxers? No, boo boo. You're not doing that, right? Um, Save the children. You know what I'm saying? Raise money for the needy. Help women who are in, you know, who are in dire need. Do thing, be an do that, right? We don't need you to manage nobody in boxing. Get a life. Um, Women's Boxing Channel says just because she didn't KO her means nothing in terms of a win. Ooh. Otherwise, change the rules for KO for a title win. Well, let me tell you something. Um, you ever heard? Let me get you wise. In order to get a belt from any of these broads, from the queen, you got to kill her, right? You can't come to the queen's kingdom. Sandy Ryan flew across the pond from the UK, right? Crossed the waters and expected to get a decision. So you came to the ladies, you came to not only her neighborhood, to her yard, and you expected to win a fight from a decision? No, you got to kill her and bury her in her yard and then go back with the spoils of it, go back with all the belts. Yeah, she needed to either hurt, and she was hurting McCaskill with those body shots, but Sandy Ryan's not seasoned enough to know how to put somebody away, right? So they pushed her into that situation and the opportunity slipped through her fingers. And I promise you, Jessica McCaskill will not fight Sandy Ryan again. That's a guarantee. Okay. Um, so yeah, it means a lot, right? This is not amateurs, and even in amateurs, like where I flew across the pond, and or even if I went to another state, another neighborhood, if I didn't fold or hurt abroad, I knew I wasn't winning, and we need to keep it that way, right? Look at what Cecilia Breakers did. Like I think the 147 belts, to be honest, I think they have a curse on them. I do. Right? Because like it's passed from one bullshitter to the next, right? Cecilia Brækhus, look at her. Cecilia Brækhus is actually fighting better than she did when she was hot, right? Cecilia Brækhus is the one that brought in this whole point fighting, um, uh, glorified amateur style, and now we're stuck with it. Right now, we got people out here thinking it's okay to try to point fight somebody and beat them in their backyard. No, no. When I went to Japan and fought Fujin Raika, okay, I boxed her damn ears off, right? But Fujin made sure her knees buckled a couple times, but her ass made sure she stayed on her feet, right? Because that's the only way. And I was trying to get her. I should have. I wasn't seasoned then. That's why I'm saying Sandy Ryan needs more seasoning. I didn't have seasoning at that time, so I didn't know that how to put Fujin away, right? And then I forgot what fighter came after me and actually broke her damn nose and stopped her, and that's how she got the title off of Fujin, right? But how dare I expect to fly to Japan, right? And outbox because I was being nice, right? Outbox Fujin because we were the first, oh, I could say black and Asian in the history of Japan, to have a female fight together, right? I could say that, right? How I look, right? But yeah, we were the first, female fight in Japanese history. How dare I expect to go over there and beat her on points? You know what I'm saying? It's just an unspoken law. When you go to the champ's house, when you fight a champ or one of them favorites on her porch, you kill her and you bury her in her yard or under her porch. You kill the queen. And that's it. Um, Women's Boxing Channel says Ryan beat McCaskill better than Shields beating Marshall. You know, Shields, who is a great fighter, but never KOs anyone. That's Shields, exactly. Right? To be honest, Women's Boxing Channel, you see, Marshall needed seasoning. I think she did better when she fought Franchon, right? If Savannah Marshall fought Franchon Cruz like she fought Clarissa Shields like she fought Franchon Cruz, she'd have that purple belt. Okay, she'd have that belt, right? But she wasn't seasoned. Now she's seasoned, right? She's a different, you know, we have the pictures there. Where is she now? That fighter then that you saw is a different Savannah Marshall, than what you see now with the one with all the belts, right? That experience seasoned her. So who's to say? Maybe this experience versus McCaskill gave Sandy Ryan a little seasoning. Okay? When you knowing, I mean, she's not the first in history. I've felt that hurt knowing that you won. You won, but you lost. And next, you feel me? So, I mean, that's how fragile your career is in women's boxing. Um, the thing about Shields, women's boxing channel is Clarissa Shields has a promoter who focuses on her, right? Who he's not splitting his time and his attention with no other broad. Clarissa Shields is his moneymaker and his cash cow. Okay? And he's promoting these fights. So he will never put her in a position where she's the judges are not going to score or put them their cards her card the judges is not going to make that card in Clarissa's favor, right? Even in when Hannah Gabriel dropped Clarissa, Clarissa was still going to win that fight, right? It's just like when the Hammer in Germany, right? Christina Hammer got knocked out, like stopped, right? The ref stopped the fight because she was like, Anne-Sophie Mathis rung her damn bell. She was gone, okay? Not even, oh, she was doing the stanky leg in there, right? And they stopped the fight. They said it had to go to the cards. And they actually gave Christina Hammer the win. They didn't even call it a no contest. They said Christina Hammer won the fight. And Sophie Mathis went over there and stopped her and in Germany, and they turned around and made her lose the fight. So nothing's impossible. Like blatant robberies and disrespect and all of that, it's not impossible. So you talk when you talk about Sandy and how unfair and robberies and all that shit, we talking about, are you talking about diet Coke or rum and Coke? Which one you drinking? Right? When you drinking rum and Coke, you on that hard stuff. When you drinking diet Coke, Coke Zero, you playing games. Right? That's the difference. Right? A lot of us out here done had that shot of that rum and Coke, that hard stuff, hard to swallow. You feel me? Yeah. So it is what it is. Women's Boxing Channel says, haha, my typing is shit, by the way, sorry. Oh, well, I'm not doing, this ain't a typing class. I'm not judging you for that. I just want to be able to read it properly so we can have this conversation. That's all. Women's Boxing Channel says, I'm a two-finger typer who has to watch keyboard as I type and often hit the caps accidentally. Okay. Well, get it how you live though, right? You still here on Wednesdays chatting it up with Sugar. And remember, you guys out there, like, subscribe, and share. Like, subscribe, and share this, Sugar, and put some money on my books. Please. Right? Make a girl feel good. My host says, to be the champ, you gotta beat the champ. I don't think they know how hard that bar is, how deep that bar goes, host. Right? That's a bar right there. Women's Boxing Channel says, so if that's true, talking fight guy, then why did Shields get the W versus Gabrielle for her first non-vacant belt win after getting knocked on her ass? One rule for one. Because, all right, let me ask you something, Women's Boxing Channel. Who promoted the fight down there in Florida with Sandy Ryan versus Jessica McCaskill? Who promoted that fight? Because that's what you're not seeing, right? Clarissa Shields, not only can Clarissa Shields make sure because when she came back, right, she did enough for people to forget about the fact that she was knocked on her ass, right? That's the one thing I was talking about. I was talking to somebody today, right, who is just a casual person that knows knows a little bit about women's boxing from Clarissa Shields. And that person says, you know what I like about Clarissa? She's confident. She's like a woman. She's like the female Muhammad Ali. She's confident. She comes in, she feels like nobody can beat her. And I simply explained it to them. Well, yeah, I would feel like nobody can beat me either if I knew I was protected. If I knew that I'm the cash cow and they won't let me, because all the money's on me, they're not going to put me in a position to lose. I would walk shit. But all of us don't have that, right? Clarissa Shields earned it. She earned her protection. Two-time gold medalist, Olympian, all of that stuff, right? That's money right there. That's like using driving your expensive car in the monster truck, in one of the monster truck games, right? Like, would you really push your nice Ferrari or your nice Porsche or whatever through the mud and all this shit? No, right? You take it to a car show and you put it in a position where it's gonna win you money, right? So that's what it is. I mean, that's what it is with Clarissa, right? You can't compare Sandy Ryan to Clarissa Shields. Don't do that. You can't. That's, now you're being disrespectful. Women's Boxing Channel says, when boxing is about hitting and not being hit. Anything else is a bonus, not a rule. Women's Boxing Channel. This is where me and you going to clash. Boxing is about uh, knowing how to win, knowing how to fight, and knowing how to win, and doing what it takes to win. Okay? Hitting and not getting hit, go play freeze tag somewhere else. Go play tag somewhere else, right? That ain't boxing, right? Women's Boxing Channel, I can tell that you have never been in the ring properly, or you haven't seen no ring behavior properly, right? You haven't been in a real kitchen, okay? They call it boxing, right? And I know it might have come from your country, the UK, right? But it done turned into a whole other monster, okay? And if you can't stand in that ring, right, and legitimately whoop ass, right? Not hit and not get hit. Like, sometimes you take to give, right? That's a fight, right? If you can't be, that's why we have styles make fights. We have the juggernaut, right? I've been through it. Check the old episodes. We do have the boxer. We do have the fighter. We have the banger, right? We have all of these styles, right? And some of those styles are about getting hit so they can hit you, right? So that's not what, then don't deny yourself of understanding this wonderful, wonderful, horrible place. You know what I'm saying? Which is boxing, which is the industry of boxing, which is the sport of boxing, right? Um, fighting with a broken jaw, fighting with a broken rib, fighting with a broken hand, things like that, right? If it came to hit and not getting hit, well, I can hit, I can hit you, pop, right? But now, like, we're trying to end each other. We're trying to end the night. We're trying to get each other out of there. That's not boxing, right? That's something a lot more. It's called boxing, though. Women's Boxing Channel says nobody has a right to be protected by authorities. That's bullshit. Nobody has a right to be protected, but you can earn your protection, right? If I went to the damn Olympics and I came back with not one, but 2 gold medals, I deserve my protection. I'm not the same as no other broad out here that didn't produce that. I'm not the same. We're not the same, right? I went to the promised land and came back with something to show for it. Okay, it is what it is, right? You can't, and then you got to earn your protection. That's the industry of boxing. Women's Boxing Channel said it's called cheating. There's a lot of cheat. Trust me, there's a lot of cheating that happens in our industry. Sometimes it's some cheating is like the rules now. You know what I'm saying? A side, B side. Who does that? That's cheating. There's no sides, right? People are picking their opponent. That's cheating. You're not supposed to do that. Okay? So, if you want to talk about cheating, that's a rabbit hole. That's a really deep rabbit hole. Don't go down there, right? Because you will end up finding your people down there doing the same cheating, doing the same bullshit, right? Okay. My host says, I agree. So my host agrees with you, Women's Boxing Channel. But I'm letting you guys know the reality of it, right? I've been in the shoes, right? I've been there. I've been to the top. I've been an elite fighter, right? I don't, as an elite fighter, you couldn't bring no other, you know, uh, Jamie, Janice come lately, not Johnny come lately, Janet, Jane come lately. And now she's on the same level as me when I've made a name for myself. I've worked my ass off. I've beat who I need to be beat. No, no. I've earned my protection. She got to earn hers too. And then when she gets on my level, we fight for it. Women's Boxing Channel says that's why boxing prevents a world independent governing body. I'm not sure what you meant by that, Women's Boxing Channel. Okay, lovely assistant, please. You can change this now. I'm getting sick of looking at her like this. Okay, it's another one. Look at how, and this had nothing to do with boxing, but I had to bring her in. I had to drag her back in. Women's Boxing Channel says, I ain't gonna argue, WIJU, with you on that shit argument again, like you the only right one on everything. Let me explain something to you about Women's Boxing Channel. I don't argue when people are cutting the fool, right? And you cutting the fool, talking about it's not fair. When somebody come with that bullshit, there's no argument. It's what I say it is. I said what I said. It's not an argument, right? Once again, Women's Boxing Channel, you have not come with any substantial point to the table. Well, Clarissa Shields didn't. Why can't she did it? I explained to you why Clarissa Shields can get away with not knocking people out and all of that stuff, right? Now, if Savannah Marshall was carrying the fight, carrying her weight, if Savannah Marshall was doing what Clarissa Shields was doing as far as pulling that money in, if she had the history, right? She was coming in on that. Clarissa Shields would definitely not have won that fight, right? Clarissa Shields would have just been another one, right? But Savannah Marshall had nothing. She brought nothing to the table except for that belt that she had, right? She couldn't be nobody's cash cow, right? That's why they didn't give it to her. That's why the sanctioning bodies was like, no, I guess Clarissa will continue to make us money. Because even now, who's the big fight? Are we waiting on Shadeja Green to grow up so she can fight Savannah Marshall? Are we waiting now? Right? Savannah Marshall can't even generate no money with the undisputed titles that she has now. Who is she gonna fight? Right? Right? If she was anything like Clarissa, right? She'd be taunting, or she would be pulling a Hammer off the shelf. But she's not doing that. What is she doing? She ran to PFL to go fight Clarissa in MMA, right? So clearly, you can see that even Savannah Marshall agrees that Clarissa Shields is the cash cow. Clarissa Shields is her protection, right? Because Savannah Marshall wouldn't have ran her ass to MMA to fight nobody else except Clarissa Shields. She never said anything about it before, right? So I'm not arguing. I'm speaking. I'm speaking on it, right? You got to come with something too, except you got to come with something more than hurt feelings, because you always get your feelings hurt. Um, so what we're looking at right now, we're looking at Holly Holm. The reason why I brought Holly Holm is where she now is. Holly Holm actually left the industry about, she was one of the, she was a legend. They loved her. They love her. She did us real nasty. She did us real nasty, right? She announced at the height, she said, listen, I don't rock with y'all no more. I ain't even never liked y'all. I never liked. I like MMA better. Well, lovely assistant, can you update the picture? Here's where she at now. Okay. Like, she in a figure four. That girl have her like that. Her head down through this. She's like, girl, you need to come back over here. Right? At least you know how to, at least ain't nobody gonna do that to you over here. We won't box you. We want to fight, and we want to behave badly. But girl, you getting your neck wrung like a chicken, right? You see, listen, y'all know I had to. I'm Ruby's guy. Like, her ass cheeks are clenched. You see that shit right there? That's like, she feeling that shit. Have you ever gotten in a situation where you got to clench your booty cheeks together? Like, you know what I'm saying? Look at this shit. Look at it. Girl, I saw it. And then the thing about it is, Holly, that's one thing about Holly Holm. She got that money behind her because Stephanie Jaramillo out of New Mexico was the golden girl. And Holly Holm took her shine, right? Holly Holm came, was it Fresco or something like that? Is her promoter? Okay, like money, right? So the reason why I brought this back is Holly Holm, this girl choked her ass out, okay? And the girl, I forgot, I'm not even talking about her, and she's MMA, so I'm not going to really talk about her. But this broad right here, her pee came back dirty. She had peds in her pee for ADHD medicine, right? So now, like, people are, oh, I got ADHD, so I got to take these steroids. I got to rub my dog down. I got to rub my dog down with the drugs. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was in my Kool-Aid. It was in my Capri Sun packet. I didn't know what it was. Like, these are all these excuses now that now that's cheating. These cheating ass broads are doing to use performance enhancement drugs. Let's talk about that instead of talking about what's fair and what's not fair, right? That's not fair. So anyway, after, girl, you see, like, that's why this picture got chosen. Like, she wringing her neck did so damn hard that Holly had to clench her booty cheeks together. That means she can't breathe. Have you ever been in a situation? I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. Like, I was a sassy little girl at some point, and I've been choked up by mama and my grandmammy and an aunt or two. What you say? I ain't saying nothing. That happened. Your butt cheeks clenched together too. You trying to get that air. You trying to get that air. So I just brought that. I just brought this back where, look at her now, Holly. Could have done a lot more. She could have stayed in the game and done a lot more with us and for us, but she went over there, and you see what they doing to her now. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But she loves it, she prefers it, and that's what it is. Do I have any more pictures, lovely assistant? I don't want to bag on Holly too much more. All right, and then so we have this one. Where is she? No, y'all know who this is? I ain't even want to say who is this. Let me go in the thread. Um, while y'all figure out or remember who this is. Mm. So, Women's Boxing Channel here. He is arguing. Because this is arguing. According to you, cheating is fine as long as it's for USA broads. Shields never cherry picked anyone. Try Habazin. Don't be silly. Okay. We're going to look at Clarissa Shields' receipt, and we're going to look at Sandy receipt. We're going to look at Savannah Marshall's receipt. We're going to look at all the receipts, right? You pulled Habazin out your ass. Okay. Has everybody else mentioned, fought high-end name brand contenders? Right? Because when Clarissa Shields, you know, she turned pro with Franchot Cruz, but Clarissa Shields has been fighting like high-end contenders out the gate. Right? She didn't get no warm-ups or anything like that. These are high-end contenders, right? In those weight divisions. Okay? So that's it. I don't remember, and I'm on tape, this is being recorded. I don't remember at any time on this platform, on this podcast, that I said cheating is fine as long as it's for USA broads. I never said that. So, what you would probably need to do is go back and watch what I said previously in this episode. And then we can finish that part of the conversation, because I'm not going to move for any further with you putting words in my mouth. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to move any further with you doing that, because it's not cute and it's not funny, and I'm not interested. Let's talk about like some, let's talk about some real shit. I'm not talking about I'm telling you how it is in the industry and how the industry works, and you still on some it's not fair. You know what I'm saying? So you have to figure it out. Women's Boxing Channel said you beat on about all the modern day gals like they're rubbish, and everyone in your era was amazing. Everyone was in my era was amazing. That's why these modern day gals are here. Everyone in my in my era, even the opponents were amazing. Because if we weren't amazing, these modern broads wouldn't even have a stage to tap dance on. You think they made this shit? You think they built this shit? Huh? You interested and you cute now? I mean, you a fan now? Where your ass was at in that era? You have never talked about that era. You only go on about these girls from this era. You are disrespectful, right? And until you start respecting what was there, and until you start understanding now that that is a standard that these new broads must uphold in order to remain, in order for us to have longevity in women's boxing, then you don't get it. You gonna be one trying to raise money for them, right? You're gonna be one trying, right? Because right now, when Katie Taylor retires, when Clarissa Shields retires, when Savannah Mark, when those broads retire, who's making money in women's boxing? Who's interesting? It would have been Alicia Baumgartner, but you seen what she did, right? She's a new broad, right? So she did that dummy new broad stuff, right? They're not doing anything. Oh, I know who's gonna carry the torch, right? Who you got over there? The first black female boxing manager in the UK. She's gonna do it. My host talking about booty clenched. Stop. Women's Boxing Channel says Ramla Ali, ha ha ha. Please don't call her a goof fighter. Who said that she was a goof fighter? Oh, a good fighter? Please don't call her a good fighter. What do you mean by that? Ramla Ali was a good fighter. She was representing for the refugees and all that shit. You better stop talking about them people, champion. Stop. Now, yeah, man, she got clipped. But we all will get clipped at some point, right? Everyone's gotten clipped. The best of us has gotten clipped, right? She just ain't come up. She ain't get up from it. All right, so she got knocked out. It's happened to the best of us in men's boxing and women's boxing. Thing that I have, where is she now? Is where the hell she at now? Like she disappeared. Nobody heard or seen nothing from Ramla Ali. What's going on with you, girl? What's wrong with you? Right? You ain't even doing no more for the refugee. What's going on? Right? While you recouping or whatever, where the refugee? Like at least have a group of refugee girls that you working with until you can get your confidence back, or mentoring or stuff. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm talking about. When you come through the door, when you're playing certain cards, make sure, okay? You're not playing that card just to play it. Make sure you know what that card do. Make sure you all about that card, right? Queen of Spades right here. Queen of Spades right here. I hope y'all know what that means, right? I play that card. Okay? Queen of Spades right here. Okay? So, she playing that refugee. Well, guess what? I was working with refugee kids. I did all of that stuff. I played that card. But it was really real when I played that card. Right? I wasn't doing it to get attention. I was doing it because I saw where what I was doing or what I had could influence and bring up my refugee students that they moved over to the US, because I was in the US at the time, and they went through some horrible things in their little lives, right? And I was able to use what I know as a top amateur fighter, and provide lessons, confidence, commitment, all of that good stuff for them to grow into probably some great or not so great people now. Okay, so there was longevity in that. Um, when you disappear, when you playing that card and saying, "Look at me while I'm doing this. Look at me, I'm doing this," right? You got to even do it. Look, I'm doing this. You got to even do it when you fall on your ass. You got to still be doing it too. You got to still be about that life, right? You got to still be about your struggle, right? So she's not. I haven't seen her be a model. She's not modeling no more. She's not this. She's not. What's going on? What's going on, Tin Man? You done lost your heart, right? Where are you? And that's what I'm saying. Where is she now? Right? Very talented. She was a talented fighter, right? But I knew where that was gonna. I knew how that was going to end up. I knew how that was going. You too busy trying to be a model. You too busy trying to be everything else except for a fighter. And at the end of the day, boxing going to keep you honest. This boxing industry going to keep you honest, right? Because there are other people who are about the struggle. And they doing what they're supposed to do, and you're going to meet up with them one way or the other. um um what okay, wow, woman boxing channel come in, and I'm about to cut it soon. Rankin and Hobson are not elite fighters. Oh, okay. um so these are two fighters on her receipt, two. um let's talk about the receipts. Let's talk about the receipts that the girls that you're arguing for. Let's talk about their receipts, right? How many non-elite fighters are on their receipt? We know, we see, you're right. Clarissa has two. How many are on their receipt? 5, 6, 7, 8? Paddingtons? Paddingments? Come on now. As a matter of fact, um, your fighter, I mean, as far as Clarissa Shields, um, Savannah Marshall, instead of, creating her own hit list, went into Clarissa's recycle bin and took out her recyclables. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm crying. I am crying because I don't feel good today, but I'm not crying about nothing you said, Women's Boxing Channel. The one thing you got to know about me is I've earned it. I've earned it. You see this show? I've earned it. They wouldn't have gave they would there wouldn't be no Natalie Sugar Brown show if I didn't earn it. If my name wasn't, like, if I wasn't solid out here. If I didn't, if there wouldn't be. I didn't, but I don't pay for this. You know what I'm saying? I don't have special get the legit people come on my platform and they drop in and they speak the truth. They speak their truth, right? That's what it is. So I don't need to cry. No one's crying. And I don't argue either because there's nothing to argue about. Been there, done that. Um Now, Women's Channel, stop it. There were goddamn awful standard of fights put on back in the day. Oh, goddamn awful. He put God in it. Damn. You talking about goddamn awful? Not just awful, but goddamn awful. Damn. Why you hate us so much? We wasn't that goddamn awful. Some of us was awful. Um, Put some of them awful broads in the ring with some of these wet nose green broads now, and they'll wipe the damn floor with these hoes. Yeah, I said it. I don't mean the garden tool neither. Okay? Because y'all on some hit and don't get hit. We were never on that shit. We was on may the baddest bitch win. And we want to do everything it takes to win that fight. So you call it awful if you want to. But you couldn't stand in there with a lot of those past ones in the era, and very few, not none of these girls could. I'm going to say that with my chest because you don't know the history. You don't even know the history. You don't know the history. You can't even talk about it. Um Women Boxing Channel said I was at Jane Couch's fight in 1996 when she fought at Streatham Street, London. Fantastic. That's awesome. Women's Boxing Channel. Tell me I never mentioned first belt era fighters. Okay, you mentioned Jane Couch. You tried to get me in hot water with Jane. Talking about Jane, she said this. That's one thing your ass will do is spread a damn rumor. Won't you, Women Boxing Channel? We got to be careful. You lucky I'm a bad bitch where I don't care if you got it wrong. You come to me and I'll fix your ass. Whether right or wrong. Oh, you heard that? Oh, you want to defend it? Oh, you want to come to me about it? Okay, because I'll fix your ass. That's me. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Because I say what I said. I said what I said and I say what I say. Like people know me, right? I'm not afraid to speak how I feel, to speak my mind. I've always been like I've been that way. People like it or not like it, but mostly the majority respect it because I've just all I'm loyal to the truth, right? So um um I believe that if you're looking for a certain style and you compare the past era of women's boxing to this era, I guess you can say they were awful. But at the same time, as someone who's been around when in when the eras now pass and styles change, right? I was a part of that new era where we were better technically than the older school fighters, and I was in there with a lot of them. Susie Taylor, I'll never forget Susie Taylor, because I got in there with her and I thought, oh yeah, I'm just new. She ain't got skills like me, and she didn't have skills like me. But what she was a damn fighter, and her ass got me with a couple things. That guess what? I took them bites of humble pie, and I said, you know what? I'm I'm gonna keep that. You taught me that. You did that to me. I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna do that to another broad, right? Added that to my style. So they weren't awful, right? They were unconventional, but they weren't awful. They were good at what they did. And what they did was they fought. It was a fighting era where women were fighting each other. They weren't boxing. This boxing style is the track star roadrunner, right? This is the style that rules the era right now, right? My era was the bangers. No, The era before me was the banger style Christy Martin, right? The one that's going to beat them now, the one that's going to beat Clarissa Shields is the juggernaut. The juggernaut is going to beat Clarissa Shields. Go back in my episode, Styles Make Fights. You'll find out what the juggernaut is. But that broad that comes in and she's the juggernaut, right? Because if you ain't got no, if Shields knows what she needs to do to win, because she's seen all of these styles. But very few people come across the juggernaut, right? There's a juggernaut. A juggernaut comes around once in a while, once every blue moon, right? Some of you guys, if you can drop it in the comments or whatever, right? Do you know a juggernaut fighter? Male fighter? There's been juggernaut female fighters too, right? But drop it down in the comment, right? Juggernaut style. There is a juggernaut female out here, but she, how can I say this? There is a juggernaut female, but she's not being taught, or she won't get any better than what she is. So now she looks awful, right? But there is a juggernaut female, and she is successful, right? But being a juggernaut is also an art. Women's Boxing Channel says representing refugees don't make a good fighter. LOL. Stupid statement. Here we go. I'm not even going to talk about that one. Women's Boxing Channel says calling a spade, talking truth. Women's Boxing Channel says, oh, poor little Ramla, who mixes with royalty and gets all the best venues and fought nobody, got bonked at first attempt. She isn't a good fighter. She's a fake. She was protected until she had to fight somebody, right? So we all saw that, and you seen what happened there, right? So that's what I'm talking about, right? Rubbing elbows and all that shit. You so busy doing everything except being a fighter, and your ass got laid out by a real fighter who fought her way to that opportunity. Nobody gave her anything. It was a hard knock life for her. I forgot her name. She cried when it happened. She was actually losing the damn fight. She said, you know what? This hook gonna land. This hook gonna land. And it certainly did. Women's Boxing Channel says, just like Sky Nicholson's average, and Shannon Courtney, etc., etc. Yet other good fighters can't get fights. Promoters are bent, narrative tossers. I mean, yeah, that's the game, Women's Boxing Channel. And, you get hurt. Your feelings get hurt because that's the game, but that's the game. You know what I'm saying? So some of the good ones slip through the cracks and actually get in the position to where mess around and win. And win in a legit way, meaning I killed the queen and I'm burying her. She's on her back, right? That's what happened there, because there's no way that fighter that knocked her out would have won on points. You always have a fighting chance in boxing. Women's Boxing Channel says Shields is the weakest division, and those fighters she beat are mostly very, very average to poor. Yeah. You have a point. You have a point. Women's Boxing Channel. She turned she turned the zombie divisions into the money making divisions because Clarissa Shields is a cash cow, and her promoter, Salida, and her managers made it so. It's not fair, but I mean, she earned it. You get 2 gold medals at the Olympics. Not even there's no. I don't think any male in U.S. history has done that. So you know what I'm saying. Women's Boxing Channel says she's a great fighter, but 147 is by far a tougher division, and are all the central divisions. You may have a point there. We talked about zombie divisions, strong divisions, weak divisions. Didn't we have that conversation? So you do have a point there, right? Um, and like I said, I don't see that the Clarissa Shields is very lucky. If Clarissa Shields was around when Layla Ali was around, Jackie Frazier, even the opponents like Shanita Penny Baker, you know, who else? Ann Wolf, who else? Like Vonda Ward, who even got knocked out. Like these, um, there was another Wolf. Like there were when 160 when this division was tough. Clarissa Shields wasn't even a thought in her daddy and mommy's mind. They hadn't got freaky yet. You know what I'm saying? So Clarissa Shields is lucky. She was destined for this. It just has to be, right? She comes around in a time where there's no real person that would stop her from her climb to greatness. There's no one, right? And they robbed and cheated so many potential ones that they're gone. So the way is cleared for her. I can't hate her for that. Um, Women's Boxing Channel says you on about Green. You forgot her name. I think it's Shadeja Green. You're damn right. The hell was she doing? What's she doing? Where is she now? Like, what is she doing? What is she doing? Right? Because she's supposed to be the one. What is she doing? Um, Host says Joe Joyce. Who's Joe Joyce, host? Women's Boxing Channel says Green's too slow. By the way, Green's too slow, and I am never seen like it's so attracted. It's so unattractive to me to see a big motherfucker. I mean, to see a big ass person run from a fight. You know what I'm saying? And Shadeja Green is running from opposition, and she's boxing, I guess as y'all would call it, but she's running from opposition that she should be able to be standing there and taking shots and countering from. You know what I'm saying? Parrying and making them pay. She's running and shit. She's leaning on the ropes with both her chests open, running and shit. You know what I'm saying? You know her peoples came on and talk about you better leave that one alone and ODU. It's like the fuck. If you don't get your ass, go tell Shadeja to damn get real because we real over here. um okay. So, Women's Boxing Channel says Shields beats Green all day and every day, and twice on whatever day they're about to do it. E. Doolittle, hey, you just came in on the thread. Says Guzman. Okay, so y'all are dropping some juggernauts in. Okay, Joe Joyce, Guzman, yes. Women's Boxing Channel says, agree, I see Layla Ali beating Shields. But stop with Frazier. Frazier's CV is simply crap, honestly. So padded. Yeah, they padded Frazier's record because I mean, legit, she was only she was only in it to fight Layla. But have you seen Jackie Frazier? Have you seen her? Do you know that she trained her brothers in them and her dad was around? Do you know they trained her like a real damn fighter? Have you felt that her hands? Did you see the fight with her and Layla? She had Layla in there. They had to put Layla on her feet to come out for the last couple rounds. So we're not going to look at Jackie Frazier's receipt. What we are going to look at the fact that Jackie Frazier was a real middleweight, was a real big girl. These girls are like 5'10" and taller with the hands and the back and the legs, right? They will hurt you. They will stop you, right? Clarissa Shields going up from 154 to this to that to this to that. That means there's nobody in these zombie ass divisions that's legit uh, there to pose a issue for her. You think she could do that with these solid, legitimate, even Frida Foreman, like Veronica Simmons, Letitia Robinson? Come on now. It wouldn't have been Clarissa Shields' time. Even if Oksana Castillo had an opportunity, I don't think Clarissa could beat Oksana Castillo. Um, because Clarissa runs her hands. Clarissa could take a good shot, but you need the juggernaut to corner her and to ride it, to give her something off of everything she does at every side, at every angle. You need the juggernaut to come at her anywhere she's at, unconventionally come at her, right? You need to have her back like this. Nobody's put Clarissa Shields in that position. Um, my host says, until he met Big Bang Zhang. Okay, so Joe Joyce. Now the thing about it is Zhang that it wasn't Zhang is not that Japanese fighter, is he? I'm not really big on the guys. Anyway, you guys, thanks for I'm gonna give a shout out because I gotta go. I gotta get my rest. Um, I gotta get this sugar's gotta get this her body to heal. Um, so I'm gonna call it a night. Okay. Thank you to my Talking Fight family for definitely having my back on the platform. R Scarf One, Ron, baby. We're gonna read that article and we're gonna talk about it the next time we link up for show, for show. Okay, and thanks for always chiming in. Okay, thank you to my host for being a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful uh, contributor to the contributor to the conversation. Okay, thank you, Women's Boxing Channel, for showing up because I know you had to stay up late to come see Suge, even though you always got to try me on a Wednesday. That's one thing we know for sure. Women Boxing Channel going to try Sugar, right? But it's okay. Um, that's fine. That's fine. We got history. So thank you, Women's Boxing Channel, for chiming in. And thank you so much. Where's my guy up here? I haven't seen you come around in a while, but I appreciate you stopping in. E. Doolittle for dropping in, and adding to the conversation. You guys, I love my misfits. I love you guys that chime in, that watch and not say anything. Thank you for showing Suge love. Um, there's some stuff in women's boxing coming up. Women's boxing coming in and said, "It's been fantastic arguing with you in a positive way, Sugar." And then gave me the X's. Okay. Have a great week, chick. You call me chick. Have a have a good week, boo. My my UK boo. Um, Women's boxing say he's Irish. It's Ed O'Little. Oh, okay. All right. I guess them Irish boys. I mean, them Irish fighters. Okay. Um, well, I say thank you for chiming in, you guys, and thank you for continuing to rock with Sugar. Um, like, subscribe, and share. Put your comments below. Tell me how you feeling about this, the conversation, and let me know what you want to hear about. I think I got some stuff in somebody. I'm gonna be checking my mail soon. I'm gonna be checking my comments soon. So put something down there. Let it be good. Okay, but until then, I'll see you next Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Y'all check out my other folks on the Talking Fight channel. Okay, they always got something interested coming on. But take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and until next Wednesday, bye bye.